Happy birthday, Victor Wembanyama. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Hope you're having a great weekend, and what a win by our San Antonio Spurs last night. But one thing I saw on the live stream at times is that Devin should come off the bench. Some people are even saying trade Devin in some of the comments in the videos. I want to talk about that today and making the case for or maybe against Devin as the sixth man. And one thing I've seen recently with the Spurs is when Wemby's not in, our offense sometimes disappears completely. Kellman has occasionally been that guy off the bench, but overall, it can be an up and down roller coaster show. So if Devin's on the bench, will that help that? Should he go? Well, let's get into some stats first. I want to show you guys the stats. We talked about this a little last night in the live, and this is why I'm talking about it today. These are his stats as a starter this season. He's played 8 games, about 33 minutes a game, 15 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. And the one thing I'm really shocked at is his shooting splits as a starter. 42, 31, 75. And I think this is one of the reasons Devin's kind of been under a microscope this year, is that he is our highest paid player. He's not our best player. That's clearly Wemby. But he's our highest paid player. And getting paid $29 million for this, I was expecting more. Now, his bench stats aren't going to blow you away either, and they're not necessarily worth $29 million, but they actually are a little better than this. Let's check them out, Spurs fans. In 11 games, so a near same sample size, 25 minutes a game, 16 points a game, 2 rebounds, about 3 assists, but his shooting splits off the bench were 47, 40, and 80. And then we look at them side by side so you can get a better picture. Over on the left is a bench, and right in the middle there is a starter. So I do expect the rebounds and assists to be up with more minutes, and actually he's rebounding much better as a starter. I did notice his turnovers are down per minute as a starter, but the shooting splits, maybe he's just in a shooting funk right now, but being in that starting lineup, you would think with Wemby out there that the three-point shooting would be, I don't know why, I got nothing. I don't know why he's shooting worse off as a starter and off the bench. It's so perplexing me. I can't even talk. So I want to circle back to the question. Should Devin come off the bench? Probably not. The Spurs are paying him a lot of money and invested a lot in him and invested way too much for him to be a bench player. Now, the bench of Kellman Vassell coming off the bench does sound intriguing to me. Both were former starters. They have a chemistry. They played long enough together. There's a chemistry there that gives us some firepower. If one guy's not firing on all cylinders, the other guy might be. And if both are going, then we're going to be in good shape. Last night, it was Kellman in the first half, and in the second half, it was Devin between those two players. But that's also a costly bench, too, with Devin making almost $30 million, Kellman making almost $20. Then you got Zach Collins making almost $20 as well. That's a lot of money to be tied up in the bench. So, he should not come off the bench. Not yet, at least. I really do see Devin being the longtime shooting guard. But the injuries and now the inconsistency this year and the down numbers really have him under a microscope. By me, and I'm sure everybody I've looked at, Spurs Talk, Tom Rock, Aaron Almo, they've all kind of pointed out things. And I hate to be critical of players, but you have to call what you see. And right now, he's struggling. Maybe he's not 100% healthy. I don't know. What I do know, Spurs fans, is he should be in there to close games. We absolutely need him out there. And he's definitely be in there when Wemby's resting. We saw it last night in the second half. Wemby went out, had the foul trouble, and then Devin finally came to life and it really kept us in that game. I am wondering, though, with Stefon Castle, not wondering, sorry, I worded that wrong. It should be noted, is what I wanted to say, is Stefon Castle has played better as a starter than a reserve. And that makes sense. When you think about who Castle was originally playing with as a starter, it was Wemby, Barnes, Champagnie, and Paul. These are 4 players that you do not want to leave open on the perimeter. They can all hit the 3, right? Now, coming off the bench, he's usually out there with Keldon Johnson, Trey Jones, and Zach Collins. Those are 3 guys you're going to leave open for 3. Keldon's three-point shot has been absolutely busted this year, so I dare him to shoot the 3, unless he's going like 4 or 5 or something crazy. And then Trey Jones and Zach Collins, Trey's not even shooting the ball anymore, and Collins is not a great three-point shooter either. So I think that's been a big effect on Stefon Castle's game, is who he's been out there with. The starting lineup, he's got shooters around him. He's not going to be left open. He can do his thing and drive into the paint. He's going to have floor spacing. When he's out there with non-shooters, the defenses collapse, cause a turnover, cause a miss in the paint, and not working out so good for him. So that's all I got, Spurs fans. A short video today. Just because I've been seeing a lot on the channel lately that Devin should come off the bench, I don't think so. But I'm really shocked after digging into his stats that he's shot so much better off the bench. And maybe that's just because he's the primary guy off the bench. When Wemby's not in there and he's in there, the offense is running through him. Maybe that suits him better. I don't know. I'm sure the Spurs will figure it out. I'm sure he will be better as the season progresses. We've seen flashes of how good he can be, and I just hope he gets some consistency. That goes for a lot of our guys, Spurs fans. When our guys are all playing well, like they did last night, we saw they can beat anybody in the NBA. Well, just about anybody. Maybe not the top few teams in the East or West, but pretty much they can at least compete with anybody. It's a good time to be a Spurs fan. I know all those draft picks aren't going to really convey the way we wanted to probably over the next few years, but you don't need a bunch of lottery picks to build ideally you do. Let me back that up. You don't keep needing lottery picks year after year after year. You don't want to become the Wizards or the Pistons. We got our franchise player in Wemby. We've got who looks to be a very good player, maybe another franchise player in Stefon Castle, and then we just need to put the right pieces around them. And I think Devin's one of those pieces. I do. I think he's going to be very good for us at the 2. Just right now, he's having what is easily an off year, especially shooting, and it's still early in the season. I hope he turns it around and don't have to make any more videos like this about anybody for that matter. Hope our Spurs just get rolling. We're not going to be a lottery team this year. That's out the window. Let playoffs. Let's make the run. Let's do it now. Playoffs year 2, right? I don't know. That's all I got. Drop a comment down below your thoughts. Do you think Devin should stay in the starting lineup, or are you in the crowd that, you know what, especially after seeing those stats, you should come off the bench? Hit the thumbs up, like, support the channel, subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs community, and see you tonight for the rematch, the irresistible force versus the immovable object, Jokic versus Wemby, round 2 tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go!